Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Transformers 1 Megatron. Now the biggest problem that people had with this figure when it first released was that it is a deluxe class figure and not a Voyager class figure. Because in the movie, when he got the cog, he actually ended up growing much larger. And now it's pretty difficult to make things that actually scale well with him, because a lot of them will have to be smaller than this guy. But looking at the figure itself, I do think it's not that bad. Now, I definitely would have preferred more shiny look with silver paint. I do think the gray plastic isn't too bad here. A lot of the painted bits inside the chest are pretty good. The head sculpt is pretty nice, and while the eyes are not as detailed as they were in the movie, I do think they were picked out pretty well. He comes with both of the guns he had in the movie. Although the big one is the wrong one, since this is the one that he had when he was still D16 before he got Sentinel's cog. And the one he has when he's Megatron is supposed to look like this. And it also just feels a bit too small. His hands are also pretty weird since they look normal from the front, but from any other angle, they're just treads from the tank mode, so they kind of look like oven mitts. This guy also has a similar problem to what I have with the Earthrise Optimus Prime, where he's got a pretty small chest and then long legs, although I think it's actually a bit more noticeable on this one since the chest and torso is just so small, and then you got these big ass long legs. He's got all of the standard articulation that you'd want in a figure, so you can get him into any good pose you'd want to. You can take the jetpack from the Studio Series Transformers 1 Elita, and you can plug it into the back of him, so he can use the jetpack. Now for some comparisons, here he is next to Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime. Here he is next to Transformers 1 Elita 1, and this thing will be getting a video sometime. And here he is next to the Transformers 1 Optimus and Bumblebee, and this is definitely where the size comparison issue comes in, since these are all deluxes, they can't really scale too well, since at the end of the movie, both of these two towered over him, but now they're just slightly taller. So that's it for the robot mode. It's quite solid, but nothing really too special. It really works for the character, but there could definitely be better if it was a Voyager. Now we can get into the vehicle mode. So here we have him in the tank mode, and can't even lie, this is a pretty great looking tank mode. It's got all the interesting shapes, the turret, although the same problem with the lack of silver paint from the robot mode is still here. The turret can rotate up and down, left to right, although you gotta make sure it doesn't come off since it just comes off very easily, and then you can see his face in there. What I like about that transformation is that it uses both the smaller gun and the big cannon from the robot mode, and you combine the two, and that's what forms the tank turret. Now for some comparison, here he is with the Transformers 1 Studio Series Bumblebee, and here he is next to Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee. So that's it for my review on the Transformers Studio Series Transformers 1 Megatron. I think it's pretty good, you know, it definitely doesn't deserve a lot of the hate it gets, because I mean a lot of it's towards the height of it, and well, I can definitely understand those complaints, especially considering that it's a Studio Series figure. I can still look past it, since, you know, if you aren't putting it next to the ones he's very obviously out of scale with, and you're just really having him next to the Optimus, it still looks pretty good. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you had a good time watching it, and goodbye.